I decided I needed some help. So when I had bypass surgery in 1983, and I was in Santa Barbara, and there was a group called Mended Hearts, and they would help people, survivors of the operation. Most people did survive back then. I think 3% we didn't make it. So I figured there's got to be a group like that in Sacramento. It's a bigger town. No. So I thought, well, I'm going to look up Sacramento Vegan Society, because I thought Vegetarian Society. You vegans are kooks, I thought. I wasn't going to go with that. So I go to the Vegetarian Society, and I got no help at all. They weren't friendly, they weren't helpful, and they really weren't very good vegans. And so, but I did meet a fellow, Scott Cameron, and he said, Al, you got to go to the Sacramento Vegan Society. Linda is a real taskmaster. She's strict, because I wanted no oil, no fat, no salt, no sugar. Did I say that? All right. And so you'll notice two people I've mentioned aren't here. Even though I buy dinner, they still won't show up. There's something wrong with this picture. All right, so I signed up, and I wanted to thank Linda, she's not here, for at least heading up the group, because the group really was the foundation for my journey. Now, in my journey, we were talking about this, I met Maureen, and I haven't seen each other for a year. It doesn't matter. The minute I said hello, we were right back to where we were a year ago. I love this woman. It's just, I love her because she laughs at my jokes, but she's fact-based. She told me, for instance, that a hug has to last more than 20 seconds for it to be meaningful. I think that was right. So I come home and told Dottie, honey, it's got to last 20 minutes.
20 seconds now.
You got to stretch the things a little bit.
So he hugged me, and I said, wait a minute, we're not done. Takes a while.
So we have been camping together with our families. We've had a lot of laughs and a lot of good time. And she actually made a video of me where I was the star, which I loved. Then I passed it out to the Wednesday group. So thank you, Maureen. You came along just at the right time in my journey. And it turns out it was either the first or second time at a vegan meetup, and it was for you too.
Yes.
So that's Kismet.
Yeah.
All right, and then I also met Tammy. And I sat next to her, and I told her the Reader's Digest version of my story. And she said, ooh, could you talk to my mother? So naturally I said, well, is she cute? But she lives in Lincoln, was it? Nebraska, so that was no help. So she found my story interesting and inspiring. And so I said, well, I have it written down. I had a copy of it. And so I took it. And you and Tom edited it, changed it, improved it. Well, you didn't improve it, you just made it clear and put it on your blog. Bless you, and thank you for that. You also graciously introduced me to all of your whole food plant-based friends, which was something I needed at that time. And Donna, you were one of those. And so I want to thank you. I learned a lot from your blog. For instance, a lot of good recipes. And I also heard, I think, from Dr. Greger to eat groats in the morning, oat groats. So I Google oat groats, and your recipe comes up first. Now, I did it again before I wrote this. It comes up second now, so you're going to have to get out there and work on it. But thank you very much, and thank you for introducing me to a galaxy of new people and new friends.
You're welcome. And do you remember, Al, that I told you that you had a very inspiring story?
You kept telling me that.
And you kept telling me, I don't think so. And I said, no, people need to hear it. We need to spread the word.
Yeah.
Because you saved your own life.
I did.
And it inspires other people to make change.
Yeah.
And saves their lives as well.
I still have a hard time with that. But one day she contacted me and said, would you like to be on the radio? And I said, well, why not? So we drove up to your studio, to Peggy's studio, and we were on the radio, and it was just awkward for me. I don't like doing this. I have to take notes even to do this. But we made our presentation, and thank you for Peggy for putting the word out. thank you for also being part of one of the spark plugs to start our Now group, our Wednesday group, and also for doing things like an interview with Dawn and Ruby. So you do a good job, kid, and you have good parties. And about the same time, I found out about Ruben at this time. And all the free seminars they had, well, free, and they were excellent. So I made a point of enrolling in every single class I could. Now you have to understand what a big deal this was. I was 80 years old. I didn't go out at night. And it was in the fall, and it got dark every night. So I don't like to drive at night. So, but I went out, went to all these classes, and to make a point of this, the year before, I keep track of my mileage on my car for insurance purposes. They asked me. I put 5,000 miles on my car the year before. This year, I put 11,000 on it. So I went to a lot of these classes, and I met a lot of people. And so I want to thank you, Ruben, for the classes. Meant a lot to me. Your classes are more information dense than anything I've been with. I mean, you just pack all this information in there. So I want to thank you very much for that. The classes, what I learned, and the people I met at them. And then speaking of Tammy's galaxy of people she entered me to introduce, there she is, Esther. Esther is one of the brightest stars in the galaxy. And you sent me an email. We crashed your party, and it was jammed with people at Whole Foods. So I only got to talk to you for about 2 minutes. But in that 2 minutes, I fell in love with you because you have the same, you have a couple things that we have similar, whatever. First is we both had a crisis that caused us to go on to this, which I've sort of found out you almost have to have a crisis. There are a few people that don't. You said yours was a crisis of a different kind. And the other thing I love about you is that you said, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna just become whole food, plant-based. You said if you're gonna do it, you do it right. I always say if you're gonna do something, do it to wretched excess.
Yeah. I think early on I also said when we get married we don't say I'll try.
Oh, Dottie says I'm trying.
Well, very tried.
All right. So where was I? I have to take my notes here. Yes. And so we both made drastic changes. We have similar attitudes. And I have learned to really value our friendship. I want to thank you for being such a good friend because you still inspire me and you still a lot. So you help me and inspire me. So thank you very much. This party was one example of that. So, all right. And last but not least, sitting over there in the corner, she hates this. She puts her hand in her, oh God, not
I gotta
me.
go. I got this babysitting. No.
Where's my good friend Twyla? My friendship with her has been really special. And that word can have a lot of meanings. Like love, hate, perhaps. She was the little sister that I never had and probably didn't want. It started out when she asked me to give my presentation for a class that she was teaching. And so I said, all right. So I sort of snuck in the class ahead of time. And we all know Twyla. And so I thought, well, where is this going? And she has the class and she goes off at this marvelous tangent, wraps it all around, comes back around, closes it all up. I used to own a school, so I know about teachers, and she does a wonderful job at that. Well, she also then kept asking me again and again, would you do it next semester? Would you do it next semester? And what you did is to give me the area, to give me the room to allow me to grow and to progress and feel better about myself in my presentation. Because as you said, I didn't think it was very inspiring. So I really want to thank you that you facilitated my next journey, which is from being comfortable as a whole food plant-based eater, a lifestyle in my own skin, to now to helping other people. And I thank you for that. I mean, and I kid you a lot. We kid around a lot. And I love your sense of humor, but I want really, seriously, thank you very much.
Thank you, Al. Thank you.
So again, I want to thank everybody for coming. It's been very meaningful for me just going over and reviewing this night after night what I was going to say, because this is not my thing. Once I get up here, I can fake it.
You can't get him to sit down.
And that's why I love it.